So I wanted to show you the four thrusters that go right behind on the back skirt of this kit. Let me take off the legs because I know that I need to have access to this. And take this off. So these two thruster bells, go right behind here, which is kind of barely even noticeable. And you have these four bells, which are in reverse. Technically, you got to put them right behind them and align them up, and then paint them. And I just noticed right now there's some flash here, which I'm going to clean up soon. And then there's the one thruster here, this one that goes right there. And I said to myself, okay, these thrusters look cool, but I want to modify it a little bit. So, not using this, not using these, I'm using this. These are 3D printed thruster bells, courtesy of Maverick. I hope you're watching this, Maverick. He sent me this about a few years ago. And I said, you know, one day I'll end up using these 3D printed thruster bells. And I think this will be the appropriate time. Let me just cut that off. So I just put one here and the other one there. While the bigger ones, this one right here, will go back there. And it'll look a lot better. What do you guys think of that? Clearly this needs to be glued on. We're going to do that right now. But first, let me just double check a few things. That's going to take off. Yeah, so there's not that much of articulation when you turn this leg, as you could see. So don't expect it to, you know, do some amazing, you know, bending at the knee and picking up a pilot. It's not meant. This kit was never meant for this at all. Nobody's thought of it back in the day when it was being, when the series was being aired. I did sand this down, did I? Yes, I did. So I'm going to heavily glue this on because I'm going to have to sand off all this. I think, you know what, maybe one day, if I decide to go back to Wise Guys Hobbies, I may end up getting the 1/100 scale version of this kit and see how well it is. And do a comparison of the old, of the, you know, current 1/100 scale that I'm going to build soon, to the new one. And you know what? I should have done something. Oh my god, I forgot about this. Let me take this off. The reason why I forgot is, get your ass out of there. I forgot to sand this down. Yeah, I forgot to sand this down all the way. I'll just, you know what? I went a little ahead of myself. Let me sand this down before I glue the legs on together. Alright. Been working on the torso of the Zeta Gundam, and I wanted to share with you how far I've done with this. And here it is. Put a bit of layering of parts. Try to extend out the detail a bit. This one was the tough part, to align it right. It's a bit off a bit. Like I've been doing like a bit of a light scribing here a bit. Just to even it out. Don't have a, you know, I thought I had an old toothbrush around here and I can't find it. But using this removes whatever nonsense is there. I put that back there. I was going to fill these in a minute. I haven't done it yet. Same thing here. And I've been trying to find the little winglets that I mentioned before. I did buy one by Kotobukiya that can go, I can put one here and here. But I can't seem to find, I think I know where it is. I'm just being a little lazy. That's why. This one came out almost good. I think this one's a little. Where's my nippers? Here we go. I feel like this one's a little longer. See if I can try to grab it. Shave off a bit. There we go. That actually looks a little better. Some detail here. Even though I sanded this off and got rid of the seam lines, there is a marking there. I could scribe it, but then I was afraid that it will open up the plastic. So putting on the these two strips should, you know, distinguish it. Maybe I'll mark it. I'll paint it off. Put these back here. Nothing back here because they're going to be covered up by the wings and backpack thing. And I'm thinking of putting something there. I haven't. You know, cutting the part is not as easy as you think, because not only when you have to cut it once, you got to do it twice, and hopefully it works. Sometimes it doesn't, and, you know, you have to redo the whole thing over and over and over again. Because then you have to not only put it there, maybe do a little bit, then you got to cut the side here. But I'm working on that. The legs, I did put a plate here. Even though I sanded all this down, you know, from here to here, I put the plate here to give it a little bit more detail there. I did the same thing here in the back, which is a little bit rough, which I'm going to sand it down. Actually, I'll just take one of these, 600 grit, and then just do this. To conform it a bit. Smooth it out. Get rid of the, I mean, I could do that, or I can just go like this. Get that at an angle. That way it's a little bit more cleaner. Now I put this here because there's that seam line that goes all the way through that. And now I'm going to do this on camera. I'm going to cut this. I gotta see, I should have enough clearance to do this. Just gonna put it flush right there. There we go. There we go. Actually, I'm gonna need the this one right here. Gonna be Careful not to damage this part. You gotta get one of these angle ones. They're perfect. You could probably take one of these and cut it up in the way, and you know, take this or the square ones and then cut it up in the position you want. But this one is a little bit better because it's already been pre-cut. One would argue or say, and if you want to correct me on this video, please be my guest. Probably a good idea is to cut the whole thing off and put a brand new one there. But this strengthens and holds up the part a lot, a lot better. And then as for the hole here, even though there are seam lines there, which I am still working on. I don't have to worry about the seam lines inside, because this, when it goes here, would be covering it up and you don't see it. It's that part up there. I did take out a little bit of that, but I'm going to have to maybe take the hopping knife. Oh, there goes that thruster bell. And then just shave off a bit. Oops. So, yeah, I mean, this line will be covered up by the thruster bell. Okay. I was going to cover this entire area, but I'm actually, alright, I sanded this down pretty well. I know I got rid of all the seam lines. But sometimes you make a mistake, and then there's that one little microscopic seam line that doesn't want to go away. I don't know if anybody has gotten a problem like that. You sand billions of times, and then at the end of I think you say, okay, you got it done. It's finished. No, it's there. At least something there, and it's usually. See, I see one right there. It's usually right here. And then you have to constantly sand. And remember, if you're sanding this like that, it will depress this, but this will be still elevated. So you got to remember to sand it up on the opposite end on each side, just so you can balance it out and it looks, it looks even. It doesn't look a little warped or anything like that. I am also noticing there is detail panel lining, so I may have to end up, scribing a bit, just so that way when I get the opportunity. You gotta be careful also. You get the opportunity to paint it off or maybe detail it. It's very difficult to see this. There we go. This is actually part of the kit. I don't need to put it on. I'm going to probably do some light scribing around here. I haven't done any, this one came out okay, but I'm going to have to maybe fill that in because I think that gap will be shown. This one I don't have to worry about because this one is okay. And just so you know, the glue is so strong, it actually melted the inside, but you're not barely going to see it anyway. I haven't done nothing with the arms yet. And remember, there are these little sinkholes right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Look at that sinkhole right here going under it. You would think it's part of the detail, but it doesn't look like it. See, that's part of the detail right here. This little part with the hole. And this whole thing's going to be red. But there's a sinkhole there. So I'm going to do one of two things. Let me take this off. I know this has to be sanded down. I'll take care of it in a minute. And I'm going to glue this on soon, but I need to deal with this first. I can either sand it down or take plot plate and then flush it onto that. Sanding is required. That's understandable. But this, yeah. And then this one right here. This is the one that I was a bit annoyed because this part here is blue, and that's annoying me because I do have to sand this whole thing down. There is no thruster here. This is all according to the manual. Here we go. Inside is black, while the trim is all orange. So that's going to be a tough gig to do that. This is orange, okay. And then this is orange, but then the inside is black. And then I would have to paint this whole thing orange after I finish painting it blue. Then, or no, correction. I would have to paint the inside black, but there's a seam line right there. So this is where I'm going to have to put, I'm going to have to cut a plot plate to put it inside to cover it up. And I think I have a vent part that can go into that. I'm still searching for that. I now need to begin sanding down all these seam lines that's on this to get rid of that. So yeah, this is how far I've gone with this build. It's started to take a bit of shape. I just haven't finished it yet. I gotta cut this part now. And as I mentioned before, I was thinking maybe increasing the height by cutting this whole thing around, but then you will damage some of the areas here. I'm not there as a builder yet. You know, even though I'm experienced and all my stuff, I'm still a little bit hesitant. But I would imagine that yes, you would cut that. You put plot plate. You put like a pin of some sort, like a peg, and when any PVC polycaps in there so it can turn and things like that. But it's not going to be accurate. It may be, you know, it may be increasing the height a bit. That's fine, because in the clearance, it's just that you have this little part here. So if I cut that, you have this little area here, and you have to repair it and damage it. These are just ideas that I thought of. I can probably do, and then I chicken out. I'm annoyed at this because this thing is wobbling around, and I think what I'm gonna do. Let me see. I'm gonna do this here for a second. This is annoying. This is annoying. I think what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to get that much posability, I'm going to be gluing this on together, keeping it straight and even. And then that way I don't have to worry about it flopping about. But yeah, I think so too. And at one point, I wish I had something that replaced this, but again, I'm not there yet. Okay, that's my status update on this guy. Let me continue on. Hopefully, once I'm there, because now I not only have to finish up the legs and the arms, got to clean up and detail the wings. The beam rifle is fine. The shield, I do need maybe something. I'm not 100% sure. The inside, get rid of these little hole things. And then clean this up a bit. Maybe put something there. I've been using Daylong's website and looking at the Master Grade 2.0 Zeta Gundam as a reference point and seeing what can I do to make this kid better using the Master Grade as, as something to visually see. I'm going to get this done right. Yeah, I am.